Hi, dear friends. This is Wasim Maisra. Hope you are doing well. For those who are new to my work, I just remind you that I am a publisher and I'm author also of several books you can find on my website, Core Magic. Some of these books can help you to study your tarot deck, and this is where my work with the Arthurian is coming from. Also, this one is for beginners, for busy souls, and this one is for mystics. And I have other books that you can find on my website, coremagic.com. If you want to explore more about my way of working with cards, about mostly my priesthood, about the medicine of roses, you can check my website, wasimagic.com. We have several courses there, and we have some courses in English also. You can find them. All right, so I'm coming again today for a second video about the Arthurian tarot deck that I have been exploring for the last few weeks. I must say I really enjoy exploring this deck, and I came to realize that it's a very shamanic deck, which means that the suits show the landscape. This is how it came to me, showing the landscape in which different actors take the lead to play a role, to show us the way, and to give us guidance. It's very interesting also to make the journeys that Kathleen and John Matthews explore and share in their guidebook, which is really amazing. I'm really happy to have this deck. Of course, I didn't do all the journeys yet because I've just been exploring it for several weeks, but they are deep. You have several types of spreads you can experience. It's a profound work. The difficulty might reside in the fact that I am not that familiar. I know the Arthurian legend a bit, but I'm not an expert in it. And so I entered the realm of this tarot as a novice, as I don't know nothing, and at the same time, I don't know if I want to know everything. And from that perspective, I could have the freedom to try different journeys and relate them to my own life. So it's very important that if you are not familiar with the legend, that I feel that there is depth you can get even if you don't know about it, and the meanings. Oh my God, I can't talk enough about the beautiful threads that I have seen between the different suits, from 1 to 2 to 3. That there is beautiful work in understanding the suits in this book for me, and I might share about it another time, but that is something I retain from my work with it. Another thing also is that the some cards are so profound. I found them, they give depth to certain traditional tarot decks. And talk about, for example, the White Heart, which is the lovers. And the White Heart, I really love this animal linked for me to the deer, and it comes as a messenger. And in this deck, it talks about being the messenger of the goddess of sovereignty, and it announces a change to come, the manifestation of love. It talks also about inwardly idealism versus practical manifestation. What am I believing in? What spiritual adventure am I getting in that is more true to my heart? Is my heart pure? Am I having the purity of life, of love? Am I seeing the beauty from within? How am I doing with my desire of love and life, and how am I expressing it? Um, it's really interesting for me, this the messages that are in the guidebook, and even not only in the cards, because you have journeys, and I'm gonna share with you the journey about the heart, where you can get even more information. So for example, in the second part, I talk about it more in the first video, but in the second part, you have the white heart, and you read about it, and then you have a meditation, and then you have practice. This is one of the best guidebooks that exist in the tarot world. To be honest, it's one of the best. Rich, a lot of courses. It's really really well done. I'm amazed. I'm amazed by this. So do not stick only to the small meaning in the cards. Go and look for the journey, to deepen your relationship to the card and see how it relates. I mean, when I picked this card, I stayed with it for days. I couldn't move on. It's rich, it's a journey. And like shamanic journeys, some people do journeys every day, some people do journeys every week, and every journey has its own strength and depth. And this one is a one that stays for days. You cannot move on to another one next day. It's profound. Another card that I worked with is the cauldron. I mean, look at this card. You see how many things are there. You see the three. Oh, okay. When this card came in, I was exploring the notion of time, from metaphysical perspective, from a quantum physics perspective, from a spiritual perspective. What is time? And it's not the topic for today, but just to show you how these three ladies came in, reminded me of the ladies that play or create the time, which is maybe not related to the meaning of this card, but still you have the young, the elder, and the I forgot the maiden, I think the name, but it's speaking to me in my own language. um, it's speaking to me about this possibility where the present moment, I am all in here and now, gathering my ancestors and gathering my future selves and descendants. They are all in here with me now. And this is what matters. And from here, I can create something else. And the serpent and the guides behind. There are so many things, so many things. And again, instead of sticking to the description, the small description in the major cards, go and check the lesson. So you'll find the cauldron, you'll find the ninefold sisters spread, which is really interesting. And same thing, you might do, I kept, I think, two cards. Yeah, Arthur. You have Arthur is present through several cards. It's present also in, I don't remember which card, but it's present as the sleeping and the guardian of the land. Um, so so again, I want to meet with Arthur. It's the Arthurian tarot. I should meet with him through this deck. So I go and explore directly the lesson and the meditation, and you will find also the same thing about Merlin, which is one of my spirit allies energy that also you can explore as as a guide, and you will find a meditation and a spread. So for me, I was jumping in according to the messages I'm receiving and the guidance, and my interests, because I don't think I will spend the whole year going through the Arthurian tarot, because I know I am going to other places. I'm going to explore other topics, and I'm more into the Egyptian mythologies and mysteries at the moment. So again, how can I bridge between two, and how can I stay focused in what I am practicing instead of jumping into another line? Those are questions that, as tarot practitioner and as a spiritual student, eternal student, we have always to keep in mind. Sticking to the trajectory while benefiting from all what is coming to us, or changing the trajectory. That is good question to have. Um, all right, I want to share with you some of the personage, the beings that would be really interesting for me to complete the work before I finish my study of the Arthurian. And one of them is the sovereignty. It reminds me of the French flag. Um, so it's really interesting. The Lady of the Lake and the washer of the ford. This lady, I mean, freaked me out the day I saw her. But I want to do some work with these beings. Another thing that I noticed and I enjoyed, exploring also is the presence of animals in this deck. There are many birds. Birds are present a lot in this deck, which is amazing because I love birds. I feel they are bringers of messages. You find eagles, you find owls, hawks. I find many different birds. And the thing is that every card will show you why the bird is here and what is he doing. Catching, for example, a rat here. So I feel it's really interesting to notice always that and to remember that the birds are actors. The trees are actors in our daily life and in the cards. We shall see them, we shall communicate with them, we shall see what messages they carry for us. So this is, while I am not very fond of decks with animals, different animals, I prefer decks about cats, tarot deck about cats, tarot deck about dogs, about wolves. It introduces me, this deck introduces me to the presence of animals, variety of animals in the same deck as actors. And I prefer decks with human presence and sometimes not. When I think about the tide deck, it doesn't have humans and it speaks to me. So, but anyway, it's introducing me to their presence. Like it's like, okay, why not? Why not? There are other animals too that you might see. I talked about the hare, the serpent, the horses, also of course, not only in the sun but all the nights. You have, of course, the cow that is present and reminds us. For me, it reminds me about Hathor and the cosmic mother. Really, really nice that it's here. The nine of stone. If you work with spirit animals, and this deck is really kind of shamanic. I mean, it is based on many journeys. The meditations, they call them meditations, but for me, they are shamanic journeys. You travel. You can use that with a drum, or So it's nice. We put Merlin here as the being that I have been exploring, and these two also in here. All right, so one last thing I want to share with you about the Arthurian. If and I find it interesting to bring in such way. It's called the Arthurian deck, and the card that represents for me best this deck is the Grail Knight, because it's about that quest, looking for the Grail. It's a quest. So for me, this should be the identity of this deck. And it's surprising because when I was working with it, I have met so many clients and people coming to me that are more male than female and that are awakening. A lot of men are awakening to the spiritual aspect, to the presence of the Grail, sensing it and looking for it. So I feel like the Arthurian deck is coming to me to maybe show me the journeys that these men, modern men, have to make. What values do they need to remember? How can we How can I, as a therapist, as a woman, as an initiator to different paths, how can I help them in their way? Um, it is for the well-being of all of us to play a role in their lives, in the lives of these men. But we have to be patient. You know, these characters that I journey with, they show me how to be patient. They show me how to keep the hope there, how to encourage them, how to show them and help them, giving them some signs. This is the way. So, especially the female aspects, the Lady of the Lake, and many other persons, uh, beings in this deck show us what is the structure that I have to hold in today's world to help the men of today. Um, so I hope what I'm saying makes sense for you. I'm trying to share with really integrity and honesty what has come through this deck. And again, I'm feeling so grateful. There are some decks that I feel so grateful to have come across and to learn from. And this one is one of them. So if you like shamanic journeying, if this deck is calling you, please try it out because it's rich. And there is another version coming out in January, I think. I would love to have it too. I don't know if there will be some addition in it, but already this one is rich. It's rich. So have a lovely day, and I will talk to you soon. Oh, and don't forget that the I Don't Care deck is on its way, probably by the end of November. So if you want to order the new version, which will be a bit bigger because 82 cards, and you can find the link on my website just below. And also, I really think, and it's not just to say buy my books, it's really, I think it's helpful. I mean, especially for people from their feedback. If you're a beginner, this one is really, I mean, I got a lot of good feedback from it. And I think you will enjoy exploring these topics and exploring different ways of working with tarot. And this one, if you want to go more in the mystical side and you have the strength and the courage and the time to go into some topics in deep dive and deep. All right. So I will talk to you soon. Have a nice day.